So
All
I'm
right.
excited. I just got a new little intro thing.
Ooh, okay, okay.
All right. I think we're live. Just gonna put the I think we're good. I'll just go ahead. What's up, everybody? Got my boy Quinten Coblentz here. About to talk about
Hey,
some of
let's
the
go.
Christian community, leaving the faith. And we both do Christian music, and this is a big concern for our community, but we're gonna get into it. Let's go. All right, what's going on, guys? This is Just Ashley Keaton, where faith, family, and funny collide. Can I get an amen, y'all?
Amen.
Sound like you judging.
No, I am judging.
Only one of us can be a crybaby, and that's me.
No, that's very toxic to say because I feel like no, it's weird, right?
Are you serious?
Isn't it weird?
But yet, you got a group called Black Hebrew Israelite that's
There's an affirmation too, like.
I know, ain't nobody helping us.
From hell, if you save from hell, you save.
So they was homosexual and now they are not.
What's up, y'all? This is Just Ashley Keaton, where faith, family, and funny collide. Here to help you get blessed, confess, finesse, and enjoy the process in the name of Jesus. You know what I'm saying?
Amen.
Amen. So we got Quinten Coblentz here, man. This is a Dove-winning producer, songwriter from small town Hartville, Ohio, as well as a skilled
what up,
vocalist.
Hartville, Ohio.
That's right. Skilled vocalist, composer, and audio engineer. His work has spanned a multiple of genres, including hip hop, pop, EDM, rock, cinematic, and more. Man, it's like my music barber, bro. That's the guy I go to to make sure, like, you could try this guy out. You know how we are about our barbers, man. Like, I don't know. My barber gotta leave town or something else for me to go try somebody else. But so it's a blessing, bro. You've helped me on a lot of things. You've worked with a lot of big names like with Daraj, KB, Lecrae, YB, and Kel Mitchell, the dude from Good Burger.
Yes, sir.
I was like, why they don't put Quinten Coblentz on the new Good Burger soundtrack? You need to just produce that whole thing, man. Oh well, we don't know.
Well,
Give us some secrets out. Let me go.
I'm not saying anything. I'm all right. I'm not, as of now, like I'm not gonna be on the Good Burger soundtrack, but I may or may not have worked on some demos for some stuff that might end up in the movie. In some form.
Okay.
So
Okay.
we'll see. We'll see how it all shapes up.
Yeah, it's still
You
early.
know me and Wes. We're always putting in some work on something. So
That's what's up, man. When I saw him doing some Christian and being when he started being in the CHH stuff, I was like, I just didn't know. I thought that was super cool.
mhm.
You know,
So cool.
yeah.
I love to see it.
Yeah, because I didn't know, like, you never know, like, what type of artists, like, what type of people are, like, talking about God. And they say a lot of people start really talking about God when they get older, and they start getting their faith when they get older. Well, if you see them, like, being kind of wild on the camera and all that. Even Prince, he became he was a Jehovah's Witness after, all his music career. He was like, I don't like a lot of the music I used to make. And I was like, man, that's wild, bro. So
I think that says something too.
Yeah.
The fact that, like, as at least for a lot of people, and granted, there's people who get older and become more, I guess, embittered against, religion and all that. But there's also a lot of people, like you said, who kind of, as you get older, they come to see at the very least the value in the faith. And I think for a lot of people coming to see that, man, I really think this is true. I've kind of lived a lot of my life, trying different things, and this really seems to be the way to go. So and I think that's a testimony to the faith, honestly. If it was something that people were, everybody was just trying when they're young and then kind of abandoning it as they get older, you know. And we see that some, but we also see a lot of people kind of coming back at a certain point, which is cool.
Yeah. So you're definitely I would say you're really qualified to speak about more of the ins and outs of
Mm.
like the music industry and
Mhm.
how certain people they don't really understand, what they're getting into
Yeah.
completely. So so yeah, man, I think you can oh, and we graduated from high school at the same time, bro.
Oh, we did?
Yeah,
That's what's up. 2012?
2012, bro.
Class of 2012. Let's
Yeah,
go.
best generation in the world, man.
Amen.
Right before things started getting crazy.
Yes. Got a few nice years of adulthood, and then the world went crazy.
Yep. Yep. Like, man. Um, but yeah, bro, I think you're qualified to speak about, certain things like that. So I kind of want to know cause people go into it and obviously they think, this stuff is just
Mhm.
so amazing. I want to do what Quinten Coblentz does. Um, I mean, we both got the keyboard sitting here, so we understand. Both got
Yep.
full beards, you know what I mean?
Yes,
So
sir.
so we get it.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, man,
Qualifications check, right?
qualifications, bro. Mic check, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Career check, we got it.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, man, so a lot of people today, I mean, I don't know. I was doing an Instagram live, bro, and
Mhm.
somebody was telling me a bunch of stuff. I don't know if it's true, so I'm not gonna say it on live because I don't want to even put it out there like Ashley said this. But some people just told me some stuff like it's all these people leaving the faith,
Mm.
and I was like, man, like I have seen this stuff happening pretty recently.
Mm.
There's a lot of things changing,
Mhm.
where there was a lower percentage of atheists, lower the LGBT was a lot lower, and now it's
Mhm.
growing exponentially. And it's
Mhm.
like, dude, I don't have a hate for anybody, but the way that it's growing, it's like some people are gonna take that and say, "Oh, that's a really good thing,"
Right.
because people are aware, and some people are gonna be like, "Well, why is it growing so fast? It's kind of
Mm.
unnatural the way that it's happening."
Yeah.
So, I mean, we don't have to get so into that yet, but as far as why people leave in the faith, or however
Mhm.
you want to open it up, just what do you
Yeah.
what do you
Well,
think about that?
do you want to talk more about like why people are leaving the faith like in general, or more why like, Christian artists especially, like, or people sort of in the spotlight in the faith are
I
walking
guess
away?
the
'Cause mhm,
Christian artists more so. I mean, we can touch the, Christians generally too,
the general,
but
yeah.
yeah.
No, it's a really like is really interesting, and it's something that like obviously has always been there, but I agree with you. It does seem like, in recent years there's like more and more you just keep hearing about it, and it's like, oh man, so and so, is like, half deconstructed or completely deconstructed, isn't it, doesn't even believe anymore, or uh kind of just abandon like the organized, you know part of the church, or like there's all different levels of it, but um basically people kind of abandoning the faith as we know it. And I feel like one of the things that I see when it comes to like in music, and even with like pastors and like speakers, people, anybody who has like a platform, I feel like um there's a lot of young people that get pushed into like the spotlight really quickly in Christian culture, because it's like the church has such an incredible fascination with talent. You know what I'm saying? Like when the church sees somebody who's young and who's talented and who's charismatic and just has like the ability to really command attention, right? Whether it's through music, whether it's through speaking, um it's like, man, we got to get this person a platform like now. And I feel like there's a lot of people that almost overnight get like this platform and this following and these people that are hanging on to every word they say, and they're now these people are expected to like give spiritual guidance and all this stuff, and they're just not ready for it. And it's something that creates, I think, a lot of pressure, because, like, let's say for instance, if I'm a young artist and I get signed to a big record deal in Christian music, and now I have like all these fans who they're not just listening to my music, but they're following like the way I live my life. They're following, and seeing what I say on social media, what I'm doing, what I'm saying in interviews, all this stuff. And so now it's going to be easy for me to start just going through the motions with like, okay, I know what I'm supposed to say, I know what I'm supposed to do, and you start kind of regurgitating, like, saying all the right things, but it's out of fear more. It's like it's out of fear of not like living up to the expectation that's been set. It's not so much coming from a genuine place, like in your walk with God. And I feel like the more focus that goes on like the horizontal, like trying to please everybody, I feel like that creates a strain in the vertical relationship with God, because now you're not really even focused on this. All you can see is, man, if I say the wrong thing, I'm gonna get canceled. Like I'm gonna lose all my fans. I'm gonna lose my platform, and you just keep repeating the cycle. And what I really see happening with that is, like, I feel like over time people get really bitter towards the church because of it, because now they've like associated Christianity, Christian culture, and the church with, like, you're forcing me to be something that I don't feel is authentic. I feel like I'm not saying what I want to say, what I really think. I'm not doing what I really feel like I want to do. I'm just trying to please everybody, and people get really bitter. And then, at some point they're just like, enough is enough. Like, I'm going to be who I'm going to be. And a lot of times you see people start really wilding out because, and they feel entitled to it, because it's like, man, for so long I've tried to please everybody, and they're just frustrated with it. And I don't know, man. I feel like that's a big part of it, like the lack of authenticity. It just creates a lot of frustration. Then there's also, like, the other factors as well, like the pressure of culture, right? Our culture is like the way that media just permeates every part of our lives. You're always exposed to somebody's opinions, and usually the opinions of the culture are really really loud and in your face. And the culture is saying, hey, like, nobody should force you to be anything that you don't want to be. You got to live your truth, do what you want. And so that sticks as well. And
it's a small percentage speaking that.
Yeah, but you
Speaking
hear
to the
it.
world.
Yeah.
A megaphone, boy.
Right, exactly. Yeah, and then there's compromises too. There's a lack of discipleship. I feel like a lot of artists, unfortunately, they start touring, and they completely get disconnected from their local church. They don't have a consistent discipleship happening, and it's just, there's a lot of little things that can happen. Small compromises over time, right? I don't know, man. Jump in and let me know what you think. What do you see as being like some of the factors?
Yeah, man. I'm not gonna lie. Like the main person, I don't know if you know this guy, Tone. This was the guy that he did a lot of stuff with Kirk Franklin and Ty Tribbett. Man, he did that song "Make Me Over Again," and then got into some stuff with Brie Bavino. That's how you say it. Because Kanye. He made the song with that "Make Me Over" or whatever, and then it was Brie who sang it, but she was making an ad lib from Tone, and she was like, "You should have mentioned me." You know, Tone was like, well, it was my song. You know, it's a whole nother conversation. But Tone, he was into this gospel thing strong, bro. His music was amazing. He was like my favorite, honestly. You know, and then he became B Slade, and was like, what are you doing, bro? Music went down. You know, everything else, like the way he was speaking, he's like, you know, God told me to do this. I was like, bro,
Yeah.
the most, you know, Tone, God respect for you, but that was the most confusing thing I've ever heard in my life. And I'm not over here like dissing nobody, but I'm just like, bro, I'm upset because you took away the music that God gave you. You just ended it. But honestly, like on what you were saying about people, you know, being young and pushed into it and stuff, I definitely have you know, empathy for that. I just, and I mean, it's people that I know, and I'm like, dude, like, I feel like the fact that you were pushed into it so fast and it was a rush, you didn't have time to process. Like me, like
Yeah.
I've had, you know, we've all had that moment where we're like, I mean, I've had a moment where I was like, I really don't even know if God is real. Like it was a, but just imagine if I'm in the
I think
music
we've
and
all had that.
yeah,
Yeah.
like I'm moving so fast in this music
Yep.
industry and I don't have time to sit down and think. Then it's like, yo, if I don't have a meeting with myself and God at some point and be study and get some answers, and I'm just gonna stop. But I'm like,
Right.
bro, my thing is, you got people like Frank Turek and William Lane Craig shutting it down, bro. And I'm like, just take some time to just listen to them. Just follow the Instagram page, something. I got the cross-examine app on my phone, bro. I ain't playing games, man. Like I have to, it's just like if music is too stressful, take a break. I got you. But
So
leaving the faith is a
that's the
big
big
position.
thing. That's the big thing though, is
Yeah.
that you just said it, you know, if the music is too stressful, take a break. When you are signed to a major label and you are having tens or hundreds of thousands of dollars invested in you and invested in your brand, you talk about pressure.
Oh,
Like
okay.
you can't take a break.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like you can't just pause. It's that becomes your life. And so I feel like
Okay.
that's part of why unfortunately a lot of people become really spiritually unhealthy even in Christian music, is that they
Wow.
have now been sucked into a life that it doesn't even allow them time to rest adequately, to be discipled adequately. It's just like it's one tour to the next, then you're making, you know, then it's back to the studio to work on the next album, then it's photo shoots, then it's video shoots, then it's interviews. And like that's what I'm saying, like if you are in a place where you're struggling, like for us, you know, even with a small brand, like if you're independent, you know, you can decide, all right, you know what, I need to take a month off social media and just like be in the word and be, you know, not be going out and performing and stuff. I just need to like, I need to step back, right? And focus on that relationship. And it's just like it's a lot harder to do that when you have uh the expectation of hundreds of thousands of fans and, like I say, a big label. Or if you're, you know, if you're a pastor, right, and you're wrestling with things, you know, it's like I got a church to lead. And obviously I mean that's why I think it's so important for pastors to take sabbaticals regularly and to just be able to step back and focus on that relationship with God, that vertical
Step back and
relationship.
spin back. You know what I mean?
Step back and spin back. Exactly.
Oh man.
But yeah, man,
I'm just getting my
that's
notes.
I that's where I have, you know, I have a lot of empathy for people in the spotlight. It's like I've experienced it in a smaller way, you know, because I've never had like that big of an audience and that big of an expectation on me. But like even with my church, you know, the whole thing of being unprepared somewhat, like When I became a worship leader at my church, this was probably 5-6 years ago. It was kind of a thing that it sort of just happened. Like there was a need, and I didn't really want to be a worship leader, but like there was a need, and I kind of just got sort of pushed into it, almost without even like realizing. It was like, it's like, oh wait, I guess I'm a worship leader now. And I wasn't really like trained, or like I didn't feel really like prepared in a lot of ways to have that responsibility. I mean, musically I'm good. Like I know I can play the guitar, I can sing, I can lead a song, but like the role of actually being like in a spiritual leadership position like that in front of the whole church, like I just um I wasn't ready for it. And thankfully, like it didn't turn out, you know, too bad for me. But I had those times of just feeling like, man, like I'm up here, I'm saying these things, I'm singing these things, I'm still trying to process what I think about all this. Like, but I know what I'm supposed to say.
Yeah.
I know what I'm supposed to say. I know what I'm supposed to do. And over time, the more you do that, the more you just feel fake. And it just doesn't feel good, right? Because you just feel like you're going through the motions. And for me, it ended up being important to kind of take a step back and not be as active in that role for a while, and just kind of, again, like get my heart right, be able to focus on other things. But yeah, man, it's just, that's how it goes. And I think for a lot of people, it's way more extreme than that.
Yeah, this definitely I love this conversation, man. It's definitely going to be beneficial, I think, for a lot of people that are thinking about leaving
Mhm.
and
Yep.
people that have already left. It's like if they just had somebody that understood them, at the
Mhm.
very least. They're trying to talk like, okay, well, we got to do this thing. We got to do this thing.
Yeah.
Like to be able, because I didn't even understand, like, you know, the fact that they just can't even get a moment to meditate, right, on
Yep.
God's word, right? Because they can't like you said, like just take a second to just meditate
Mhm.
on the things like what, like obviously I'm not talking about like, secular meditation because we don't
Right.
believe in that, right?
Yeah.
But the Bible says to meditate on
Mhm.
that
Meditate on the
word day or
word.
night,
Yeah.
yeah.
Mhm.
So like the fact that they can't just take a second to just like, all right, what do I think about this? Like it takes time. That's what people don't understand. Like even preachers, man, there's certain
Mhm.
preachers that have grown up and they've become big preachers. Like they talk about Mike Todd, and I'm like, yo, I got compassion for Mike Todd. Um, do I feel that comfortable, growing my family in that church? I
Mhm.
may wait till he gets a little older and more experienced before
Mhm.
I do that, but it's not like we can't visit. Like we visited,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
it's like
yeah.
I don't think it's a issue. That's just my personal thing. Like if someone does grow their family in their church, I think they'll be fine.
Mhm.
But it's just like he said it. Like he got thrown in that position, but I love the
Oh yeah.
fact that he's real about it
Mhm.
instead of trying so hard to push. Because they try to compare
Mhm.
like stuff he says now, the stuff he used to say. It's like, oh,
Mhm.
he's a hypocrite. Like, no, 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 no. I have compassion. Like, I understand people do certain things, they say certain things that they may not be sure of, and then they
Yeah.
grow into, because that was Tone too. Like he
Mhm.
preached messages, and I was like, full of fire. Like they don't understand
Mhm.
how much acting is involved in ministry, and when we
Mm.
get away from that, it's like Kurt Franklin said in his song, get the actors off stage,
Mm.
um, and let church begin. Like, and
Whew.
it's a lot of we gotta play this role,
Mhm.
or we're not a real
Yeah.
Christian. Pressure from
Right.
everybody.
Pressure. And well, it's like, the pressure of just knowing that, especially in like the way unfortunately a lot of the church culture is today. It's like you just know that there's a whole group of people that are just waiting for you to slip up a little bit and say something that's just like a hair off, like theologically or whatever, and they are coming for your throat, bro.
Yeah.
Like it's, and that just that pressure, I think, again, it's, I don't know, it doesn't have a good effect on people in a lot of times.
Yeah, man. Like, and I want to speak on you know, the pressure you felt, right? And I felt like maybe it was like a simple moment, but it just seemed like from what you posted, like it just taught you so much. Like,
Mm.
and that's a scary thing. It's some simple things that God will bring to people and they don't catch
Mhm.
it. And it's
Yeah.
like it just goes on way worse. Like you were able to, all right, that's why I like the way that you think about things. And I think
Mm.
that's what allows like certain precision and accuracy in what you do, and
Mhm.
certain sounds. But it's like you were able to, you're a person that can catch stuff early before it
Mhm.
gets too out of hand. Like we've all had stuff get out of hand, but just what you posted, I was like, all right, cool. He
Mhm.
caught on before anybody else did. So talk about how that wave started and the song, man. I was like, bro, where is the album at, dog? Like I was a part of that wave, unfortunately. I was like, yeah,
Uh-huh.
like we need, right?
That's
But you make some great music though, so that's
I
definitely not the
appreciate
only
it.
reason people listen to you, for sure.
No, that was so funny. Like I again, like not anything I ever expected to happen, like the way it blew up like it did. And I guess for those that don't know what we're talking about, I had a viral uh post on Instagram and TikTok where I took Scooty Wop's song Spin Back and I did it in a contemporary worship style. People freaked out and it got like millions of views and just went crazy. Actually, the sound was like still trending on Instagram like a month ago. I haven't checked it for a while, but
Man, if that was a
yeah.
song that was released, bro,
So that's the thing.
it's
We are
over.
working on it. Like
Yo.
like I've been talking a bunch behind the scenes with Wes and Scooty, and so we're trying to make it happen. But Scooty's I mean he's so busy right now. Like he's been on tour for a long time
Yeah.
now. He's engaged and he's planning a wedding. So like we're working on it, but it's just like, you know, it'll
Yeah.
happen when it happens.
I'm
But
glad I hit you up
uh
before you got too big, bro.
well, before I became a full-time influencer.
Yeah.
No, man, like I couldn't do it. Like I could not I couldn't be a full-time influencer, and I know some people have the right personality for it. But the thing that I found is just like, you know, again, there's that expectation where, okay, you went viral for doing this, now you got to do this for the rest of your life. Keep recycling and repeating, finding a way to keep doing the same thing but make it new and interesting. And man, I just like I made like what, six, maybe five or six of those worship hip hop remakes, and after that I was tired of it. I didn't want to make any more. But
It's like that's what
you
y'all
know
want, but that's not what I
that's what
do.
y'all want, but
That's not what I
no,
do.
I mean it's not what I do. And so I had to just really do some thinking on like how much space in my life do I want to give this social media thing, because it was exciting, um going viral and all that, but um you so quickly get desensitized even to the I don't know, the good, the excitement and the affirmation. Like it's a dopamine thing. Like, and yeah, I
Yeah.
don't know how much you know about how like dopamine works in the brain, but it's
Oh
it's
yeah,
like a
yeah.
drug,
ASAP science.
so where, yeah, exactly, like you except science, yeah. um you know it, you get that first post that goes viral, right, and you get like a couple million views and all these comments, and you get this massive dopamine rush, and it's just like, oh, this feels so good, like I love, just I feel like I'm doing something right and it's great. And then from that point on, if you get another, every time you have that same type of thing happen, it's a little bit less exciting, right? You get a little bit less dopamine because now you're becoming conditioned to it, and over time you could be going viral every day and feel nothing, like because it's just like, it's, I don't know, it's not every time you always are going to need more. You're going to need something that like is a step up from what you already had. And that's why I just think, you know, it's unhealthy to put too much stock in social media for feeling like successful and validated and all that, because it's just not gonna really be all that satisfying in the long term. At least
Yeah.
that's what I think.
Yeah, them new J's that's impressing everybody at
Right.
school. Like eventually,
Mhm.
you're not gonna know them anymore. And them J's ain't gonna mean nothing.
Exactly.
I had somebody
And
get on me about my shoes. I was like, bro, you need 3 pair of J's for what? I mean, I like J's, but I can't afford no J's right now.
Facts.
But I'm gonna reset the Zoom real quick because
Let's
it's,
go.
you know, and then we're gonna come back.
Okay.
All right, guys, make sure you like the video and also consider subscribing if you're feeling it. If you're really liking this conversation that's going on, we're about to hit this up again eventually. I'm gonna get the paid version of Zoom, but you know, but yeah, man, it's okay, cool. I had the link still sitting there, so
Sweet. Perfect.
yeah. And you
Yeah,
heard
man, I
that
don't know.
song? You heard that song? It's something that I don't know. OB just posted something about it. Um, his love is bussin' or something like that.
Yeah.
Yo,
Yeah.
I was
Trill
like,
song.
this
Shout out Trill song.
just was so funny. And then the second part, everybody say his love is dead. I was like, what? Oh man,
Hey,
God, I
you know,
feel.
he gave me credit though, actually.
Oh, he did. Okay, I was about to
He
say, I
gave
was
me
like,
credit for
where you get
he
that
said he
idea from?
got the idea from me. So I thought that was super cool of him, because he, you know, he didn't have to do that. But
Yeah, man.
a friend of mine sent me a clip because he got interviewed by John Christ on his podcast, and so he gave me a shout out. I was like, oh,
Oh, John Christ. Okay, that's cool.
appreciate it, bro.
Yeah, man. It's a
Uh,
that's cool, bro.
it's hilarious.
I was dying over here. I was like, I felt a little conflicted. I was like, man, if I was in a worship service and he said that, I was like,
Yeah, no,
I feel like I
wouldn't
would
have said
feel
that.
it, bro. I would feel it. I would be like, man, you right. Like, but I don't know if I should be agreeing
I
with
don't know
this,
if that's the way I'm gonna express it, but
but dude, I feel
no,
it.
see, I gotta say it, like he had the right idea as far as like taking it to the next level, and that was just the thing that like I knew that I could do that. I just didn't want to. I didn't, and truthfully, I really didn't have the time. Like I felt like for me to commit to doing the social media thing, like all in, like I got to scale back something I'm doing with the music, you know, with producing and mixing and writing, whatever. And at this point, I mean, it's dollars and cents. It's like, what's social media going to pay me versus, you know, just keep on doing what I'm doing. So
Yeah.
the social media thing, it's fun, but for me, it's just got to be secondary.
Yeah. When they stopped
But I
paying us
wanted
for
to say,
reels, I was like, bruh,
yeah.
you know what? You got us making reels every day now. So mission
Every day.
accomplished.
We do it for the, just because we feel like we have. That's the thing. Instagram adds to that pressure, because if you haven't posted in a couple days, they send like the automated notifications like, hey, you could increase your reach by, you know, it's been a while since your fans have heard from you, you know,
Yeah.
saying all this stuff. But I feel like just kind of speaking for like everybody, like the general, you know, young people, like I really don't think it's a coincidence that as we've seen the rise in social media, we've seen a rise in kids with anxiety and depression and, you know, just all of this like stuff, right? I'm not going to say it's for like 100% caused by social media, because correlation isn't causation, but I do think there's a correlation. And I think that, you know, if you think back to like before social media, you know, like think about when we were in high school, obviously Facebook was around then, but social media wasn't at all what it is today. And you'd feel like you might feel some social anxiety and some pressure, like when you go to school, when you're out, with your friends, like I need to portray myself a certain way. Like
How many friends do we have on MySpace?
Right. Oh yeah, MySpace. I forgot about MySpace. But like, you know what I'm saying? Like there was pressure for certain situations or certain times, in your week, like where maybe like I need to kind of act a certain way, or I want to be, perceived a certain way. But it's like other times you're just at home chilling, right? And you're just like with your family, or it's a low pressure, right? So you would get a break from having to sort of like be on, right? But
Yeah.
today, like if you are like super active on social media, that's a 24/7 job. Like you're always portraying yourself. You're always watching what people are saying in response to your content and what, the version of yourself you're putting out there to the world. And even if you're not like physically like being seen, like you're always, everybody's always watching, and you always feel that pressure, like, man, I haven't posted for, a while. Like I need to post something. I need to keep the engagement up. Oh man, like my engagement's tanking. Like what am I doing wrong? And that's a pressure that follows you all throughout the day. It's,
Yeah.
you don't get a break from that. And I just think that, I mean, I would get anxious and depressed if that's how I'm living my life,
Bro, I was using the YouTube talking speech rules just in regular conversation.
Mm-hmm.
I was just like, yo, there's people out here talking about deleting themselves. And it was like, bro, what are you talking about? Suicide. I can't say the word on YouTube, but I couldn't say the word. I was like,
Mm-hmm.
deleting themselves. I was like, oh, this isn't YouTube. I can say what I want to. Like, it just sticks with you. It's like, gosh, like stop changing my language.
Bro, that's hilarious.
So yeah, man, the pressure's real, bro. I wanted to talk about briefly, like touch on okay, like Pride Month, right? This is this is one of the most difficult things for Christians to speak about, and this is a big area. This is an area that we need to touch on because this is an area where a lot of people are getting attacked, and it's like, dude, like, are we just gonna, like, where's the balance? Are we just gonna sit here and let them do what they want and just, sit back and take a seat and not do anything? Or, some people have an extreme way to handle it. And I'm just like, man, well, I do give them kudos for doing something, but it's like, are you gonna accomplish the goal? So so what do you think about that, bro? Because it's difficult to minister in that area.
So I really, the thing I keep coming back to is how are you portraying the kingdom of God? Are you making it easier or harder for people to be saved? Are you speaking in truth and love, or just one or the other? Because I think you get into major trouble when you lean really hard into one extreme and lose that balance. Because I think, there's a camp that it's just all love, we'll never speak up on anything, who cares what the Bible says, we'll just love people, let people do what they want. And then there's the other side where, it's all about the, protecting the truth and speaking the truth, and no matter like who it offends, like, and then there's no love in it. And, I think you can really, really turn people away from the faith. And, this gets some into what your theology is like, and this is like a different,
I mean, I'm cool. We talk about this
you
stuff
know,
all the
but like,
time.
if you believe that the people out there have a genuine choice to make in terms of whether or not they are going to come to Christ, or whether they just either they're chose or they're not.
Oh,
I
like,
think
is that called Calvinism?
Exactly. I think that affects the way that you approach this issue. And unfortunately, and I have a lot of respect for
Because I don't mind talking
Calvinists.
about it.
Yeah, and I don't want to talk about that much, but I will say
Okay, yeah.
that a negative effect that I've seen in the Calvinist circles is that there is a lack of love, because it ultimately, you don't really feel like you need to make the gospel all that attractive to people, because it's like, well, if God chose them, they're going to accept it. They're going to accept the truth, right?
Yeah, I definitely am not a Calvinist because
Yeah.
I feel like I've seen the debate with William Lane Craig and James White,
Mm,
and I was like, man, I'm sorry, William Lane Craig is really making some sense. I just like the way that he explains things. He explains your position perfectly clear, so we can understand what you just said, because I have no idea. And then he rebuts, but he says
Yeah.
how he. But I just know William Lane Craig is the dude. But yeah, like Calvinism, the big problem I have with it too, it's like it's so illogical to like it's like, how can you speak about free will in a Calvinist view? And it's like,
Right.
you can't be mad at anybody because they're not chosen. What are they supposed to do? So why are you mad that why are you even debating this topic on if somebody's wrong about something? It's like, why are you debating someone that's homosexual? If they really, so when they say this is the way I am, you have to agree with them because they're not chosen, right?
Yeah,
So
exactly.
why are you
Exactly.
saying that, oh no, God didn't make you that way? He obviously did. If you have a Calvinist view and they can't change themselves, they're not a part of the bloodline of Jesus, right? So yeah, that it just makes no sense that God so loved the world. It's like, are they not a part of that? It's
Right.
like, what are you saying? It just, I have studied it quite a bit, but sometimes you get to the point, it's like these theological words that they use, when you break it down, it's like, all right, look, it begins to be some word gymnastics sometimes. Like the simple thing is there are contradictions. And you say, oh, well, you're not smart enough to know the Greek and be in theology school and all that. It's like, yo, I've studied a lot of the stuff. I've looked at Molinism, Calvinism, and I know I'm not trying to get too into this. I started rambling, but
No, it's a
I
loaded
live for
that's a
this
loaded
stuff,
topic
bro.
in and of itself.
Yeah.
And
But
I
back
guess
to your
to
point.
kind of bring it back, here's what I will say to, if there's any Calvinists listening, listen, and I'm not trying to attack you for being a Calvinist. If you are a Calvinist, what I would urge is that even if you do believe that God has specifically chosen, some and not all, he's commanded to love all. He's commanded us to speak the truth in love. Like that's what scripture teaches. So
Yeah, to minister to
either
all.
way, you have to be obedient in making the gospel something that people actually are going to want to hear about and accept, and if you're, and this is, and trust me, Calvinists are not the only ones that I think are guilty of, speaking truth without love. Like it's a big problem. And I feel like
You
even
call them
like
out, bro. I'm just playing.
even like there's so many camps, right? There's so many camps in Christianity that like band together around like one particular topic, right? Like there's obviously like, shoot, I want to go to my notes because I was like thinking about this and jotting some stuff down. Like there's like there's the heresy hunter camp, where it's like your number one focus like all the time is just like scanning to see like who messed up in their theology and calling people out, right? Or there's like there's hyper political camps where there's like Trump theology camp,
You don't vote for
camp where
Trump,
it's like
you going to hell.
Exactly, you don't vote for Trump, you're not even a real believer. Then there's the other side, there's like the super woke camp that it's the social, like social justice is like the highest thing, and then there's obviously like we're talking about now, there's a whole camp that unites around fighting and attacking like the Pride Month, LGBTQ people, etc. And the problem I have is not with the fact that you have convictions and beliefs about these things and you feel strongly about them, but it's like when you make one topic and one thing like your number one priority, like I just feel like the balance gets so off. And now the other thing that happens is like, let's say you're in the anti-pride camp, right? Right. You know, let's say you say something like super, you know, aggressive and like it's, you know, it's like, I know it's going to offend people, but it's got to be said. And, you know, it's like, I'm not scared of, like, I don't care what anybody thinks. I'm going to say what, you know, say the truth. But the truth is, when you're part of a camp of people like that, you're actually going to get a lot of praise from your camp for saying that. So
That's true. Yeah.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? It's like, it becomes a thing where like we're the people who stir the pot and we're proud of ourselves for it.
Yeah.
And it's like, so I would encourage those people to really, really examine your motives, examine your heart. Are you doing this because you feel that this is what God is asking of you? This is the way that God is asking you to reach the lost? Or are you doing this because you want, you know that your camp is going to really like pat you on the back for it, and you feel powerful, you know, when you stir the pot, you feel heard? I just think there's a lot of subtle motivations that can creep into these things that honestly are not Christ-like. And so, like I said, this is not me saying don't speak the truth, but why are you saying what you're saying, and how are you saying it? Are you saying it out of obedience and out of humility, under Christ, and are you saying it in a way that's going to make it, is going to make the gospel attractive to people, or are you going to make it, you say it in a way that makes the gospel a repellent that's going to drive people away? So, yeah, man, that's kind of my thoughts on it.
Proverbs, was it? Well, we have a Bible study today, right? Proverbs 25:11 says, I used the King James, but you know, y'all can use what version y'all want, not against other versions. A word fitly spoken is like apples of gold in pictures of silver. And it's basically like speaking something the right way at the right time. God, it's like, you know, like a golden frame. Like it's definitely God. He honors that. He honors the way that we speak things, and when we speak things, and how we speak things. And he also says it'd be better that you drowned, have a millstone hung around your neck and drown in the sea than to offend one of my little ones. And that's what I always go to, man. It's like when I hear certain messages in church, you know, like I said, there was, you know, a preacher, he preached, well, my dad, he was preaching, you know, and homosexuality, and somebody was like, oh, and then they said adultery. He was like, I was like, hold on now, wait a minute.
Yeah. No, I'm glad you brought that up, because that's something else I was thinking about, you know, because like, I know there's people who are saying like, oh, you know, like if you're gay, you got a demon, you know, you're possessed. You're
We
like
just talked about, I don't know if you saw that podcast. We just talked about that, bro. Literally, like last Friday or something, we talked about that.
I missed that.
Homosexual people have a demon, bro. I'm like, yo. I was like,
well,
I
and
don't
like,
know.
all right, if you're gonna say, I mean, it's like, okay, if you want to say that, like, cool, but then I think you also got to say that anybody who's not married and is sleeping with their girlfriend or boyfriend, whatever, like they also got a demon. You got to say that if somebody is divorced and remarries, if they divorce for any reason other than like their spouse cheated on them, and they get remarried, like they got a demon too.
You might be living with a demon.
Like, these are all, well, these are all lifestyles that the Bible describes as sinful. So, you know, I think you can't cherry pick, you know. It seems like a little bit of a leap to take a sin that you personally dislike more than other sins and say, well, that one is demon possession. But
yeah, bro. I think if people would just get a hold of this episode right here, I think it would be changed for the better. if anybody would have a conversation on this, you know, we both agree on a lot of these points. I say all these points that we made so far. So I'm open to have a conversation with anybody on this, because that's kind of what we do here. But I kind of
Well,
want
that's
to end
like
it on
that's the
yeah,
key
yeah,
is
you go
like
ahead.
I'll just jump in, is like having conversations, having genuine conversations with people. I just feel like does so much more than announcing something out, like on a, like standing on a street
Bro.
corner and
Yes.
like shouting something out. Like people don't listen to that. Like, I'm sorry, if have you ever had your mind changed on a controversial issue by someone on the street with a sign shouting something out, or because somebody made like a really controversial, like, combative, like, social media post or wrote a song about it? Like, I just don't feel like people's minds are changed by that stuff. I feel like minds are changed through relationships. My mind is changed on something when a person that I have a relationship and I respect, when we have a conversation and they're like, did you ever think about it this way? I'm like, dang, I didn't think about it that way.
Yeah.
And I just don't. Again, this is not to say that you just close your mouth and don't speak publicly on things, but I just don't think that should be treated as the number one, like, the way we're going to change things, because I just don't think that's going to change things. I don't, same thing with um I don't know, like, all kinds of other issues. Like, it's really through relationship and walking with people and getting into the struggles with people and just like being there, being available. And the other thing is that, like, when you build a relationship with somebody, like, let's, if you're starting to become friends with somebody who is unmarried and sleeping around, is the first thing that you talk about with them
Tell
is
them
like,
about
hey,
their sin.
you shouldn't be sleeping around. You say, like,
Right. Yeah.
you get to know that person, you build trust, and then over time, when there's an opportunity, you're honest, like, you don't hold back. But
And they might come to you and ask you. It's like,
exactly.
look,
And then you
God
got to be
worked it
ready
out.
for that. And you got to be ready for that. Okay. Like, if a person comes to you and they ask you, you can't just kind of, be like, well, I mean, whatever,
It's your life, bro.
your life, and do what you want. You got to be honest, but
Yeah.
you've earned that honesty now. You've earned the right to be honest.
They respect you. So now this is
They
a moment you
respect
can
you.
minister to them. And they'll
Exactly.
consider what you say because of how loving of a person you've been.
Exactly. And they know you're not coming at them with an agenda, and you're just trying to, like, shove some dogma down their throat, right? Like, it's genuine. Like, it's like, man, okay, this is what you really believe, and I can see that you're living it consistently, and I can also see that it's not making you a jerk.
Yeah. I think the
So,
person who has like gotten the closest to, like, I do think, like, most people shouldn't try to fit their whole argument in 5 words on a poster, and like it's probably not going to be as beneficial as a conversation, right? But I think the one person who has been able to do that the best, like making a song about it, is BIZZLE. This dude, I'm like, bro, I don't know if everybody else can do this the way that he does, but I'm like, yo, I feel like, yo, if I was, it wasn't a hateful song, but the way he did it, he was like, he did get aggressive. He was like, how you gonna compare your sexuality to my skin? I was like, good point.
It's a good point.
Yeah, but you are right. Like, 'cause that's the only person I've ever,
Yeah.
and I don't know whose minds he's changing either, but I'm just saying,
Yeah.
like,
And he
man, it
very
sounds
well
good.
may have changed mine. And there's, like I said, even with that, if you're going to make a song about a controversial issue, I think there's a right and a wrong way to do it. I'm not saying you should never make a song about, but there's, like, the
Yeah.
way you do it is really important.
Being bold in not having knowledge or wisdom is so dangerous, man. My people perish for a lack of knowledge. And it's just so crazy to think that I'm gonna make fun of a gay person and they're gonna be like, you know what? I think I want to serve God now. Like, come on,
That
bro.
really,
Just get
you know
real.
what? They really brought up some valid points with that mockery.
When he talked about how trash my husband was, I was like, you know what?
He is trash.
He is trash. I'm gonna serve Jesus, the one who really doesn't make me feel bad.
Yeah.
It's like, dude, that's already a sensitive, like, there's a certain sensitive feeling that, I mean, that's a sensitive thing. You know, it's like
Mhm.
that's their livelihood, and you're telling them that. Well, like
Yep.
that would be the same if somebody was like, "Yo, dude, Jesus, he's not real, bro." It's like, what? You know, like to some of these people that are more sensitive
Yeah.
about it, I'm open. I'm like, yo, I just want to hear what you got to say. I know
Mhm.
from history, like I've studied it, but it's
Yep.
like, I'm not offended.
All right. Give
You
give me
know,
better evidence.
yeah, give me better evidence. Who was the guy that died for my sins?
Right.
You know, but I kind of want to get into some of these. I have like a few like what this or that questions that I
Sure.
think are pretty interesting. Kind of ended on I mean, we've had a pretty positive conversation, anyways.
Mhm.
Um, so it's just this or that. You just tell me like which one are you going with, you know?
Okay. Okay.
So first one, vinyl or digital?
You know, I like the idea of vinyl, but like in real life, I mean, digital. I just,
Yeah, I feel you, bro.
that's just the way I live my life.
Yeah, don't be a contradiction, Quentin.
Yeah, I
um,
know.
solo artist or band?
Hmm. It's that's a tough one. You know what? I'm gonna say band just because like that immediately makes me feel nostalgic back when I used to listen to tons of like rock. So,
Yeah, that's where everything came from, anyway. That's the authentic stuff,
mhm.
man.
Yep.
Um, writing lyrics or composing melodies?
Melodies all day. Lyrics are the most difficult part of the process for sure.
Yes, bro. So many elements to that. Recording in a studio or performing live? That probably would go with your.
Studio.
Okay, cool, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, 100%.
And
You
yeah,
can fix all your mistakes in the studio. You can't do that live.
yeah, yeah. You got to practice, practice, practice.
Yeah.
Um, acoustic or electric instruments?
Hmm. Um. So like, uh, this is tough. I use a
I guess
lot of
like
electric
VSTs
instruments,
and
especially
stuff.
for like VSTs and stuff. Okay, so I'm gonna say okay. I love my acoustic guitars and stuff like that I do record organically, but digitally I have way more that I can do. Like
Way
I,
more
I have a whole
convenient.
orchestra at my fingertips. So just because of the capacity for what it can do, I'm gonna say digital.
All right. And collaborating with other artists or working solo?
Hmm. There's no wrong answer because I think you got to do both, but just because I'm a very introverted person, honestly, and in my workflow, like I love when I can work on something very slowly if I need to and kind of flesh it out, at least get a foundational idea and then kind of bring it to somebody else to collaborate on. So, but man, collaboration is awesome. I love working with my dudes Wes and Daraj and YB and all that. So, you know what? Big picture, I'll say collaboration.
Cool, cool. And then was it writing songs from personal experiences or storytelling?
Hmm. Um. Well, as far as just what I've done more of, it's going to be, I'd say, storytelling because yes, personal experience uh plays a part, but I think when you start to mature in the music industry, you learn that um there's a lot of songs that would be very useful that if you write, even if you haven't necessarily exactly lived it, especially when you get into licensing. Like if you want to write songs for sync licensing and get those placements on network TV, you might need to just kind of write something that's a little bit generic but still poetic and creative, but it's not right out of your life, you know.
Yeah, true. And then performing in small intimate venues or large stadiums?
Well, I've never performed in really a large stadium too big, so I guess from just process of elimination, I'll say the small intimate venues.
Quick math.
I think that would be cool though.
Yeah. Let's say touring or studio work.
Studio all day. I love just working from home and not having to be on the road. Big part of why I pivoted away from being an artist.
Okay. And then writing music or producing music.
I'll say producing because that can also include composing, which, so now like there's a whole world of like, you could be producing hip hop, could be composing on a instrumental like score for a film. I think there's just a lot more you can do, or at least a lot more that I feel like I can do well on the producing side.
And then let's see. Making music in a specific genre or exploring different styles, different genres.
This is where like it's good to have collaboration. Like me and Wes, we work together all the time. Shout out We Are the Good. Wes is the explorer and I'm the scientist. Where, well, we have these conversations all the time. Like I'm like, all right, if we want to make a song that's in this genre, like here's the breakdown. Here's what we should do. Here's how we do it this way. But then he's really good at being like, okay, that's cool, but let's also throw in some, some of this, and let's also like, what if we tried this? So we balance each other out pretty well. But my instinct is usually to decide on a certain sound or a genre and just like try to nail the details. So that's me.
Cool. Well, all right, bro. I think we had a very productive conversation. I mean, probably could have went longer, but I have some stuff I have to do. But yeah, man. So you can just kind of give your final thoughts about what you think about everything. Maybe some stuff you've got going on. If you want to shout some stuff out, I'll put some. When this is over, I'll put some links in the description so everybody knows where to find you. But yeah, man, go ahead, bro.
No, for sure. Well, I appreciate you having me on here, bro. This has been super fun. Enjoyed this conversation. And I would just say, probably the biggest thing that I want to promote right now is I produced a whole album for my boy YB. He's a phenomenal rapper, phenomenal person. And just it's a really great project. Really proud of it. Album's called Dreams Don't Have Deadlines, and it just dropped last week. So I encourage everybody to go check that out, stream that. Be on the lookout for KB's new album. So we got the YB, we got KB. HGA2 is coming next month, I think. I think it's August. I forget the release date, but it's coming soon. And there's like 16 songs on that album. I worked on 13 of them. So it was a lot of fun being a part of that. So definitely pre-save that because I think it's live for pre-save. And check out my my side brand Castle Heist. I got a little indie rock alias that I'm doing some music kind of more for licensing, but it's fun to get outside of hip hop, do some rock. So Castle Heist, check me out.
That's what's up. But rock seems like a pretty interesting. I love rock, but I'm just like, how would I go about doing? That's just something I've never like. We made like
it's fun
a rock song for like my friend. He makes games. If we made a rock song, I just randomly said some stuff. It's so funny.
Nice.
I might send it to you and show you sometime.
Yeah,
don't give me as harsh of a critic as you do with my, with helping me get my regular songs together because it was, just some extra stuff we're working on. But yeah, bro, I really appreciate this conversation. Yeah, bro, you've helped me out a lot, man. I can't even tell you, bro. Like just the wisdom and encouragement, dude, and the direction. Like it's so cool, bro. And I think that's one important thing about the music industry, and people can understand, like, being able to be humble and just be a kind person. I mean, with all
Mm.
this stuff, like knowing like what you're good at and what somebody else may have a, more experience in, and
Mm.
being able to mesh that together and get the best result, because people are so stuck on, this is my music, God gave me this music. And it's like, I mean, that's probably gonna be a topic, for a whole nother episode, because that's such a
Yeah,
big,
we can talk about that next time.
such a big thing to cover. But yeah, bro, like,
Entitlement in Christian music.
yeah, let me jot the title down real quick.
There you go.
But yeah, man, I really enjoy having you here. It's this is something that, some people are kind of worried to talk about, and
Mhm.
you probably brought a lot of encouragement to people. Anybody that
I hope so.
has that feeling, like they don't know what to do, like with
Mm.
being in the faith. And it is
Mhm.
a hard thing sometimes, and people, I think
Absolutely.
they oversimplify it. And we need to be here for each other and to understand.
Mm.
We don't want to say, oh well, another person left, they were fake the whole
Mhm.
time. Like, no, like, we really have to have understanding, and for everybody.
Yeah.
But guys,
And it's healthy.
yeah,
I think it's healthy to be asking hard questions, like when it comes to the faith, when it comes to the Bible. Like, if you're wrestling with things, like don't like take that as like, man, maybe I'm not even saved. Like, just the fact that you're having doubts
right,
and you're wrestling with things, like I think it's healthy, and I think it's something that can actually really deepen your faith, because I've experienced that even within the last several months, just having some hard questions and doubts, but having it turn into something where I can really dig in deeper and start to understand the scriptures in a way that I never did before. And so it doesn't the fact that you're feeling these things doesn't have to be a signal that you're losing your faith and you're on the way out. It can be a pivot for you to go even deeper into the faith, and you really just got to be seeking God, um, seeking that time with Him. Give Him space in your life to speak. Um, Spend time. Yeah, go to the William Lane Craigs and Frank Turek's and Timothy Keller's, and the people that have done such a phenomenal job, just like explaining things, but also like responding to the skepticism and the hard questions. Here on YouTube, like the Inspiring Philosophy is a channel that's helped me a lot. Go check what's his name, Michael Jones from Inspiring Philosophy. Like, just a phenomenal wealth of resources on his channel, just addressing everything from historical things about the Bible to philosophical questions to scientific things. Like, um, yeah, there's a lot of resources. Um, so don't panic if you're in that place in your life, because it's normal, and it can end up being a really good thing. So yeah.
yep. Well, definitely appreciate having you here, man. Um, just enjoy the rest of your day, bro, and be blessed, man, for real,
Thank you,
bro.
bro. You too. This has been awesome. I appreciate you a lot, bro. And it's been I've loved working with you these last couple years. I feel like you've grown so much. Um I've always seen your heart. That's been the thing that's exciting. I've always seen your heart, and just, I've appreciated it. And so it's cool to see how you've grown in the music, and also being able to build this platform and speak on important things, and make good content. So you keep doing what you're doing, bro. We'll keep fighting the good fight, right?
Yes, I appreciate it. I'm gonna cry off camera whenever this is done. Nah, man, but I really appreciate that, bro. Yeah, man. Well,
Yes,
you have
sir.
a good day, man. God bless you, bro.
Hey, you too. God bless.
Yes, sir.
Peace.
Well, guys, make sure you like the video and also subscribe if you're feeling it. We've got a lot of content to cover. Quinten Coblentz just gave me a lot of compliments, so I'm gonna go cry off camera. And you guys have a blessed day. All right. Let me go ahead and see where the end button is. Make sure everything's good. All right. God bless you.